What's up, 8th grade? Today we're going to go over some types of government. Real quick, this is Unit 1, Section 3. Things you need to know today. We're going to talk about an autocracy, an oligarchy, a unitary government, a federal government, confederation, a presidential government, and a parliamentary government. Classifications. There's three classifications, whether it's a participation classification, geographic classification, or legislative versus executive. Okay, because participation is who can participate in government and holds power. You're going to see some cool stuff. Geographic classification is how the government is distributed around the country or the geographic region. Legislative versus executive, the relationship between the legislative or lawmaking body and the executive or law executing branches of the government. Okay, who can participate in a democracy? Political authority rests with the people. Government is conducted only by the consent of the people. A direct democracy or a pure democracy, the will of the people is made public law by the people themselves in a mass meetings. Only really works for small communities. Okay, a direct democracy is if we want to raise taxes in the United States, every American has to vote on whether or not they want those taxes. That's 375 million people voting. So, instead of that, we use an indirect democracy or a representative democracy, which is a small group of people chosen to act as representatives to express the popular will. So we elect representatives and congressmen, senators to go vote for us. That's a representative democracy. Dictatorship, absolute and unchallengeable power. Rulers hold no responsibility to the will of the people. An autocracy is a government in which a single person holds unlimited political power. And an oligarchy is when a government in which the power is to rule is held by a small, usually self-appointed elite. So on a unitary government or a centralized government, this is a geographic distribution of power. All powers are held by a central agency and a central government creates local units. So unitary means centralized government, small local units. Federal government, however, the power is divided between central government and local governments. And the central and local governments have to agree to make changes, such as we have our United States government and our states' governments. That is a federal government. Also, geographic distribution of power is a confederation. It's just an alliance of independent states. A central organization that handles those matters that member states assign to it, usually limited to defense and trade. We had a short confederation at the beginning of the United States, and it didn't last very long because it was really weak. All right, so legislative and executive. Presidential government. Executive and legislative branches are separate and independent. The chief executive, or the president, is chosen independent of the legislature. He or she gets voted in without anything to do with the legislature. President holds office for a fixed term. Broad powers not subject to control by the legislative branch. All right, parliamentary. The executive is made up of the prime minister or premier and official cabinet. Prime minister is a member of the legislative branch. unlike the president that we just talked about. Prime Minister is a member of the majority party of parliament and is also subject to direct control. So there's some differences. Our president doesn't have anything to do with Congress. However, the Prime Minister of England is a member of Parliament. Pretty weird, but those are some differences. All right, guys, that's the end of section 3. Go do your worksheets. We will holla at you later.